Is there any difference in the way I see this world as a photographer and as a painter? I wanted to find out.
Hi, thanks for joining me on this amazing journey of self-discovery. I am Sri Harsha and I'm a writer, photographer and a painter. And on this journey, I'm going to one of my favorite places on planet Earth, Hampi, where I intend to discover my true calling in art and hopefully discover myself as well in that process.
Finally in Hampi, and I checked into my room. Nothing fancy here, just a basic room. But the best thing about this room is the view of Virupaksha temple right from my window. And these are my creative tools. I have hired a bicycle for the day, and the plan is to just cycle around Hampi to look for areas of inspiration and see what catches my attention. Well, I realized today that even though this perspective is good, it's a little too crowded for my liking, and it's not going to be easy to paint a stone chariot with so many people blocking the way and hanging around. This is another good perspective of the stone chariot with this temple in the backdrop, but again it's too crowded. Given the crowd today and my inability to paint the stone chariot, I thought I'd at least make the most of my visit here, and I will wait till 4:30. That's when I've calculated the sun to set in a position that forms an interesting perspective with the stone chariot, because that's something that I have never photographed in all these years of visiting Hampi. This is one of my favorite spots in Hampi. It's also because this is an ideal location for capturing the sunset right behind Virupaksha temple. I'm at the elephant stable and it looks good, but unfortunately there is no captivating element in the scene that can grab people's attention. So I think I'm gonna pass this scene. The Lotus Mahal looks good, and this also is a possible candidate. And another good thing about it is there is a nice neem tree, the bench to sit and paint this wonderful structure. This is the Queen's Bath, and I am liking this view. This is primarily because it gives me a lot of room for adding imaginary things into the scene. One thing I had always noticed in my previous visits to the Queen's Bath were these beautiful windows that were cut out into the structure. And they offered a curious insight into the interiors of this often elusive Queen's Bath. And I can only imagine how tantalizing it would have been for the people of those days to gather that glimpse of the interiors where the Queen took her bath. One tip for aspiring artists and painters is you need to get prior permission from the Archaeological Survey of India to sit and draw inside these monuments. I'm putting an email link that you can write to if you're interested on the screen below, but please do ensure you write to ASI seeking permission to sit and draw inside these monuments. I have hired a TVS moped, and I have also left behind my camera gear today, just carrying my painting gear so that I don't get distracted with photography and just concentrate on painting all the time. Sketching and photographing Hampi was a really beautiful experience, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. If you remember from the beginning of this video, I initially set out to discover if there was any difference in the way I thought as a photographer and as a painter. Let me try my best and hope you get the gist of it. As a photographer, I usually look for unique views and perspectives of common subjects. I want to present the world in a new way and showcase its hidden beauty. On the other hand, as a painter, I don't mind painting the common views and cliched perspectives which people have gotten used to. As a photographer, I usually try to simplify a complex world, wherein I eliminate all other unnecessary distractions. On the other hand, as a painter, I complicate a simple world wherein I add as many elements as I want, both real and imaginary, just to add variety and dynamism to my artwork. And third, and probably the most important one that I realized during this trip was I try to capture a moment in a photograph. On the other hand, in a painting, I am trying to create a moment. And probably this is the most important realization, where capturing a moment in a photograph was starkly different from creating a moment in a painting. I set out on this journey to find out if there was any difference in the way I operated as a photographer and as a painter. And while the differences by themselves were not any groundbreaking, the knowledge of them were definitely revealing to me, and I'm sure they will help me mold my style in the upcoming years in both these art forms. So, that was me photo painting in Hampi.